name is David Fitzpatrick. I'm a family physician. I worked as an emergency room physician for 7 years before returning to family practice. I teach wilderness medical skills to laymen, search and rescue personnel, nurses, doctors, and EMTs. I've been a commissioned physician in the United States, Asia, Mexico, and Latin America. I have served on foot, horseback, motorcycle, automobile, and boat. I have been to where medical infrastructure didn't exist, and I provide the care that we needed. In the spring of 2015, I served as the base camp physician at Mount Everest for the Adventure Consultants Company. After surviving the earthquake and avalanche, I dug myself out and provided the care to those who needed it from all companies at base camp. I enjoy hiking, climbing, kayaking, rafting, karate, and teaching others, including my 4 children, to do the same. I served in the U.S. Army, and I've been a volunteer for the Boy Scouts of America for 19 years. In the structure of the Boy Scouts, it is important that both the Scouts learn medical skills to care for themselves, and it's my job to teach the adults to learn the skills to protect the youth as well as teach the youth. It means a lot to me as a leader to hear stories of my Scouts or my other leaders who've applied medical skills to make a difference in the backcountry for their boys who might otherwise have suffered terribly. In addition to my own backcountry adventures, I have the academic training as a wilderness medicine specialist through the Wilderness Medical Society. I am the founder and principal of the International Wilderness Medicine Educators, IWME. International Wilderness Medicine Educators provides teaching for people who are going into the backcountry all over the world. Medical focus for folks to carry with them where the medical infrastructure doesn't exist. Wilderness first aid is different from standard first aid in that it teaches a student more than just apply care, call for help, and expect professionals in a few minutes. In the backcountry, professional response time might be measured in hours or days. The wilderness has been defined as 4 hours from a hospital or as 30 minutes from an EMS accessible road. But wilderness is more than a set of boundaries. As citizens of New Orleans, USA, and Fukushima, Japan discovered, sudden, unpredictable, and overwhelming changes in the environment can plunge them into the wilderness right at home in the blink of an eye. WFA teaches what to do when the student is all another human has for hours or days. We will teach our students how to be a caregiver and how to integrate into the chain of care if that is needed. I have been the emergency room physician receiving patients from the backcountry. In the IWME WFA class, we will teach you what I would want done for my patients. WFA is for people who wish to be more independent and self-reliant. WFA is for families who enjoy the backcountry. WFA is for guides whose job is taking people in the backcountry. And WFA is for adults who lead children to the backcountry. The Boy Scouts of America now requires WFA training for participation in all of their national camps and strongly encourages WFA training for all backcountry trips. If you are a person who takes others in the backcountry for any reason, you should ask yourself, why don't you have this training? Yes. IWME teaches our WFA students how to examine a patient and how to obtain a medical history for the purposes of caring for a patient and for integrating into a higher level of care when it may be needed. We teach our students how to care for many skin and orthopedic injuries that would otherwise be trip injuries. We teach our students how to care for many illnesses and injuries, and we teach with a heavy emphasis on prevention of illness and injury. WFA teaches how to improvise care with what is available where you are. I asked my U.S. Army 10th Mountain Division medic students how they would apply their skills without a supply chain of infinity. Backcountry is not planned and supplied, it is adapted and improvised. In seeking an Asian partner for teaching wilderness medical skills, I found an ideal candidate in the form of SP Campers Private Limited. SP Campers is part of the SP group of companies in Singapore. They are well situated and appointed for teaching all over Asia. My time in Singapore proved to me that these teachers are quite competent not just to teach the medical skills, but to inspire students to cross the lines of traditional care to provide medical care in the wilderness when an emergency strikes. You may think of the front country as where you live, work, and go to school. There is electricity, safe water, doctors, hospitals, and rescue. The backcountry 4 hours from a hospital or 30 minutes from an EMS accessible road, is out in the forest or ocean, but the front country can become the back country when the environment changes. I wish for my students to be prepared for those changes. In 2014, while searching for a collaborator to extend my business to Asia, I connected with SP Campers and I came to Singapore for an extended visit. After I provided initial training, it was mutually elected to push forward to train SP Camper staff to be instructors of IWME WFA classes. I have made 2 trips to Singapore and spent many weeks with SP Camper staff. I have spent extensive time not just training them, but helping them to understand the material at a deeper level than the WFA student must learn. I have interacted with them and tested them. I have observed them teaching WFA classes. I'm extremely confident in my extended family in the SP Campers. The 3 years that I have continued to collaborate with SP Campers has only strengthened my confidence in SP Campers. We enjoy a friendly, professional relationship with open lines of communication. As we go into the future, I believe that around the world, governments, schools, institutions, and insurance companies will place increasingly broad requirements for WFA training, as the Boy Scouts of America now requires WFA training for participation in all of its national camps. As I encourage people, young and old, to find adventure in the world and go beyond their boundaries, I always give them one foundational piece of advice: drink plenty of clean water. I have decided to trust my name, my company, and our reputation in Asia to the SP Campers. IWME Wilderness Medical Training. Improvise, inspect, improve. Go beyond your boundaries. Be yourself. Be different.